Please read the disclaimer. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, moneymakers. We got some critical breaking XRP news. We're also going to talk about why actually the market has been pulling back today, even though we got this good news, why we're still pulling back. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smishity smash that like button and let's get into it. So currently XRP is sitting at $2.43, down minus 3.68% on the day. As I told you yesterday, when we were very green and juicy, there is always the possibility and the probability that after a day where you go up big, you're going to have a pullback. I warned, right, the people that were watching yesterday and listening that we did have the CME gap for Bitcoin that with high probability, we know that it gets closed in the first few days after the weekend, right? Outside of one gap, which has still not been closed, right? Which is at the 91,000 level, right? The gaps get closed. And we had a gap right here starting at 104,000 and it got closed with extra, right? And so the crypto markets pulling back today. There's no good news, bad news really for the general markets today. Okay. Stocks are for the most part in the green. So there is nothing that you would say, oh, there's a catalyst today that is telling us that the crypto market needs to be down 2.35% on the total. No, there is really nothing. The only thing that, when you look at it is the fact that the CME gap needed to be closed there for Bitcoin, right? That's usually how it works. That's usually what we have seen in the past. It doesn't happen every time, right? Hopefully, right, that 91,000 doesn't get closed. The same thing we were saying for months about the 70,000, if you remember, right, the 78,000, and it eventually got closed. So we'll see. Will the 92,000 get closed eventually? Maybe. We'll have to see. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, we're going to be ready for that scenario, okay? As I tell you, I am ready for every scenario. And this is just, my personal tactic, my personal opinion. You always have to do your own due diligence, always have to figure out what is best for you and what you want to do in your investing journey, okay? That's very, very important, very, very important to understand as well. I want to remind you about our free Telegram group that you can sign up today. I have their extra info, like I talked about the CME gap earlier in the day. So you would have already known that info if you were in the Telegram group, okay? So you can sign up. We're also going to have an extra special group for whales that sign up using my link on BYDFI. If you're interested, there's going to be a special secondary group with me and a representative so we can chat there. But this group is only for information, okay? So if you are interested, link to that in the description down below. We already have 270 I almost said 270,000, right? Maybe one day. 270 people. I think we can get at least to 1,000 people in that group. So link is going to be in the description and in the pinned comment. So check that out. So this was interesting, right? Just looking back at what happened last week, crypto funds saw 1.2 billion in net outflows last week, the second largest since March. Remember, March, April, that was when all the shenanigans were happening and we were selling off big time. This also marked the second consecutive weekly decline. Bitcoin led outflows with almost 932 million, followed by Ethereum. Meanwhile, Solana actually posted inflows last week. So that was interesting, right? And if we look at it, we talked about this earlier today, XRP was able to basically, until the pullback that we saw, been seeing today, XRP was able to close back to the levels that we saw last Monday, right, where we saw that sell-off start, whereas other assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum, right, and even Solana, they're still off of where they were on Monday morning. So XRP has recovered out of the top 5 the best. Well, actually, let's see, BNB, yeah, also. Okay, so XRP on the potential news, which we'll get to in just a second, has recovered the most. Even with this pullback here today, you could say it's doing the quote unquote the best out of the top 5 that haven't really closed back up to the level of last Monday. Okay, so that's important to remember. Now, big news coming on the XRP ETF front. This is from Eric from Bloomberg, right? He's the big guy on ETF, senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg. Says Canary filed 8A for XRP ETF last night, which points to launch tomorrow or Thursday. Today is holiday. Thursday was the day we thought they'd be on track for, but when they did the 8A for HBAR, they launched the next day. Not done deal, but all boxes are being checked. Stay tuned. And Eleanor says also, this is the final step before it goes effective 5:30 p.m. Wednesday, once the NASDAQ certifies the listing. When that happens, the last hurdle is cleared and the first XRP spot ETF will be launched Thursday at the market open. You remember I told you that one of the ETFs said, contact me? I'm just saying, one of them, maybe, who knows who it was. And so that is going to be very interesting to see if we do actually get the first pure spot XRP ETF, right? We had the Osprey one, Rex Osprey, which wasn't a spot ETF. It was a kind of a combination. It was on different rules, if you remember that. And this is going to be the first spot XRP ETF, clean, with no asterisks. If you hear like dinging in the background, it's my boys are playing like a game where you have to hit the ding, right? So I don't know if you guys can hear it. I could hear it, but I think my microphone might be good enough to remove it. But if you are hearing dinging, you're not going crazy. That's where it's coming from. It's coming from my kids that are playing. And not just Canary, right? But now we have 11 XRP ETF products that are appearing on the DTCC website. So as the days go on, we are getting closer and closer and closer to the XRP ETF new day. And it will be very interesting to see how the price reacts. I know a lot of people think that as soon as the XRP ETFs go live, that's it. We're going, banana. Maybe, maybe not. When the Ethereum ETFs came out, we didn't see it go banana. HBAR had the ETF come out, right? And it went up, right? But then it pulled back. Okay, so I want us to lower the expectations a little bit. Yes, this is historical. This is, for long term, this could be huge. A lot of money could come through this. But short term, remember, price action is when it goes up, when more buying than selling, and it goes down when more selling than buying. If there's not a huge influx from retail and there's not a huge influx from institutions, then we could see a pop like 6, 7, 8%, but then there could be a sell-off after that, like we saw with HBAR and Solana. And I think Litecoin also got one approved, right? So it popped up, right? Litecoin popped up, but then sold off of that. Okay, so we have to take that into consideration as well. Of course, we also have all the government shutdown stuff. Will it, won't it? Will it come back? Won't it come back? What's happening with, the vote? So that is also weighing on the market, the uncertainty. And so we'll see. We'll see how these next 48 hours or so play out here for XRP and for the XRP community. It's going to be very, very interesting. Again, not financial advice, always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Everything in this video was for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only. Also, remember that I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or to send me any money. Anything we talk about is just here, and only the links that I provide here in the YouTube description or in the pinned comment. There's a lot of imposters out there. So we have the Telegram group. There's a lot of imposters on Telegram. There's a lot of imposters on X. Only interact with my official links, okay, and my official profiles, okay? Twitter, X, I'll link to that also, and Telegram, I'll link to that also here. Only interact with those. And we also have BYDFI, which you can sign up through my official website here, and you can go to here and sign up and join the whale group if you qualify. Okay. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you keep coming back to see the videos and you haven't yet subscribed. Drop a comment, 8 for infinity and beyond, or you can drop a super thanks if you want to support the channel that way. But the easiest thing is to just smash that like button. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, see you later.